This pandemic, inventing life-saving vaccines isn't enough. We have to actually use them. Getting vaccinated is the right thing to do for ourselves and for each other. Vaccinations are helping to keep our schools and our businesses open. They're the way out of this pandemic and back to normalcy in every aspect of our lives. And although millions more need to do their part, thanks to the President's leadership and the commitment
What's up, guys?
across Illinois and the nation,
This thing started on
making
time.
real progress.
I've never seen that
fact,
in this
just
administration.
Today, I announced 2 additional agreements with organized labor requiring vaccines for state workers who care for our veterans and for our most vulnerable.
Yay.
I'm proud to have their partnership as we promote safe, proven, and free vaccinations that will restore normalcy to our communities.
Safe, proven,
our
and
lives,
free.
most crucially, allow us to maintain our healthcare system's ability to care for anyone who walks through their doors in need of help. As we begin to see signs of improvement in our COVID-19 trajectory, every unvaccinated American has a choice to make. We can prepare for more tragic, senseless loss of life in the months to come, or we can get vaccinated. There's really not much debate about what the right choice is. So roll up your sleeve and get your first shot and your flu shot. And if you're eligible for a second shot or a booster shot, don't wait. America needs you now. This is about freedom from the virus.
Right.
Getting vaccinated is one of the most patriotic things
Claire.
that you can do.
Really?
Thank you. And now it's my great pleasure to introduce the mayor of the great city of Chicago, Lori Lightfoot.
Dear God.
Thank you, Governor, and thank you all for being here. And I want to give a hearty thanks to our members of the federal congressional delegation, all the work that you've done to make sure that we are getting our fair share of resources, but also your incredible leadership during these difficult times. I want to recognize Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton and Senate President Don Harmon. Thank you all for your leadership. We have a once-in-a-generation opportunity to make transformative change in American lives. Better is not just a catchy slogan. It's a value statement, and one that I wholeheartedly embrace.
Sorry, my internet was all weird. So
but all these things will be for naught if we don't heed the advice and the leadership of our president and our public health leadership as well. We've got to get people vaccinated. It is, as the governor just said, the most patriotic thing that can be done.
Come on.
The vaccine is safe.
If I hear patriotic one more time, I'm going to scream.
And now it is widely available. We just recently announced in the city of Chicago a new initiative around the vaccine called Protect Chicago 77, representing our 77 neighborhoods. Our challenge, but our opportunity, is to make sure that not a single one of our neighborhoods is left behind. And we've made great progress. And I'm proud to say that we lead the nation in the most equitable vaccine distribution policy in the country. But we still have more to do.
Equitable.
And we need partnership with all of the people that are here. I want to thank Bob Ryder of the CFL for the incredible leadership that the CFL has done, hosting one of the first vaccination clinics for organized labor in the country. But we have to roll up our sleeves and do more. It is senseless that every single day there are people lying in emergency rooms, in ICU beds, and they're on the verge of death simply because they have not taken advantage of this life-saving vaccine.
That's the only reason?
So we need to heed the advice of the experts,
Lori Lightfoot.
and we need to follow the advice of our president. And there's so much that we can do together, but we'll never be able to move forward unless we get this pandemic and the virus behind us. So I urge everyone, if you haven't taken advantage of this opportunity, please do so. The vaccine is widely available, and again, it is safe, proven safe over and over again. And it's the thing that we can do to make sure that we move forward, that we get people back to work, and that we truly are able to embrace the president's leadership around Build Back Better. And with that, I'd love to welcome a friend, a true advocate for the city of Chicago, Congressman Raja Krishnamurthy.
Good afternoon. It's an honor to be here, and it's an honor to be someplace they pronounce your name right. It's a true story. When I first ran for office, I said, my name is Raja Krishnamurthy, and the person in Chicago looked right back at me and said, Roger Christian Murphy. And so,
Oh my gosh,
it's lovely to be here, and from an Irishman by mispronunciation to an Irishman by
dear
ancestry, namely the President of the United States, I want to welcome him to the 8th District of Illinois. I want to observe those 3 rules of public speaking: be short, be sweet, and be gone. And so I have 3 points that I want to make. First of all, can you give a big round of applause to the President for joining us today?
Let's go, Brandon.
His life story.
Let's go, Brandon.
His life story embodies goodness, grit, and resilience, which are the very qualities that we need now more than ever to get through the pandemic. And I just want to thank him for bringing those qualities to the White House every single day, because we need it now more than ever. Second point is, can you give a round of applause to the governor for his tremendous leadership, Mayor Lightfoot, Mayor Johnson of Elk Grove Village, all of our state and local leaders, my congressional colleagues, men and women of labor, and of course the workers from Clayco. Give them a big round of applause. And their CEO, Bob Clark, for everything that they've done to stand up this beautiful data center in the 8th District, and we're going to be so proud when it's finished and to see the final results. The third and final point I want to make is this, which is today marks the start of Navaratri, and the holiest month of Hinduism that leads to Diwali. During this time, we celebrate light prevailing over darkness and knowledge prevailing over ignorance. In that spirit, here's what we know about vaccines. 1, they work. And 2, vaccine requirements work. Since President Biden announced vaccine requirements less than 1 month ago, the number of people unvaccinated in this country went from 95 million down to 67 million, a drop of 30% of the unvaccinated population, or 30 million people in 1 month alone. So, in the words of the James Bond movie opening tonight, it's no time to die. It's time to get vaccinated.
You're laughing.
And I just want to thank the President for his clarion call to do
disgusting.
Just that. Thank you so much.
These people. Are you guys even real people? And now we wait for Biden, apparently. I don't know what that was. It was like a little pump up. Here comes Biden. Biden. Biden entering the building. God. What was that? They just stopped talking and now we have a blink? What the? See, I knew Biden wouldn't come on time. It was all a sham.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jerry Wenzel and President Joe Biden.
Standing at 5'10", Joe Biden coming in hot. What is he wearing?
Thank you. Thank you. Take your seats. Good afternoon, everyone. It is an honor to be here today to welcome President Joe Biden.
And also
and
with
to
you.
share his vision of getting everybody vaccinated 100%.
Gross.
We would also like to acknowledge our distinguished guest, Governor Pritzker, Mayor Lightfoot, Mayor Johnson. Thank you. I'm Jerry Wenzel, Senior Field Operations Manager for Clayco, a top design-built firm here in America. I have been with Clayco for 23 years because of its core values. And its core values are treating others how you want to be treated. Such a simple philosophy.
Oh, here we go.
Building a diversified workforce, You see it amongst us now. And creating jobs within the communities that we work in around the country. We are thrilled that you're all here today at this Microsoft project.
Thanks, babe.
A realization of Mayor Johnson's vision to creating jobs with a more prosperous and beautiful Elk Grove Village. It looks fantastic. We thank all the people involved in this major project, especially all the hard union workers. I am also a proud union member.
Gross.
Vested in 30 years in the union carpentry, Local
Pull
250.
Pull your mask up. It's not covering your
Safety
nose.
is a top, thank you.
Safety is not a top priority. Yeah, pull it up. Thank you.
Safety is a top priority at Clayco. Some people say it, we live it every day. We are making sure everyone goes home to their loved ones safe, safer than they came here, right? That's our philosophy. We're spouses, we're sons, we're
daughters.
We're parents and we're grandparents on these jobs. And in my case, like yours, Mr. President,
Pull your mask
I'm a
up.
grandfather of 3 young grandchildren who are not yet able to get vaccinated. We are
I
all
love his
making
mask is
personal
coming down.
choices
It's my favorite.
to get vaccinated. Everyone is a different story.
And every story has a name. Oh, you forgot where he was.
Thank you. my reason and my wife's reason.
Oh, I've been there, public speaking. I've been there, bruh. You got it,
Mr.
dude.
President, thank you for making the safety of our workforce and our great country your top priority. On behalf of Clayco, Microsoft, Elk Grove Village, and the city of Chicago, it is an honor of a lifetime to welcome President Joe Biden.
Wow. So pumped up. So much
Jerry,
energy.
thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mr. Mayor, thanks for the passport into town.
Thank you.
I tell you, every time I come to the greater Chicago
comes a
area,
stupid
there's somebody
joke.
want to steal and bring back to Washington, Gov. I've done it a couple times, you know. At any rate, look,
Oh my
Jerry, every
gosh.
company needs people like you, every single one. Someone who knows what my dad taught me, and a lot of people know
Okay.
me well, including the
comes the
governor's
dad.
sister, who I worked closely with for 8 years.
Tell us about your
My dad
dad.
used to have an expression. He used to say, everyone's entitled to be treated with dignity. And Joey,
Beautiful
a
expression.
job's a hell of a lot more than about a paycheck. It's about your dignity.
Come on, man.
The community. It's about being able to look your kid in the eye and say, honey, everything's going to be okay. That's
Guy
about
says
you.
this all the
Said it,
time.
you know, ever since he lost, things went south in Scranton, Pennsylvania when I was a kid, and coal shut down. My dad was not a coal miner. I had a great-grandfather who was a coal miner engineer, but you
Say
know,
this
he was
every
a
time, Joe.
salesperson. Everything, we moved down to Wilmington,
Even
Delaware.
you're saying this
Little
kind of
town
fast.
called Claymont, a little steel town, where there's no steel anymore, but right on the border of Pennsylvania. And it was always about the dignity of work. And what you've been doing here about this pandemic is about protecting the dignity of your fellow Americans.
Come
You know,
on, man.
you stayed in an operations mode, lining up protective equipment for the rest of the country, all around the country. And when the
God,
vaccine
he's
came
pretty
out,
fired up right now.
you all stepped up and you got the shots. And as a company, you're getting more shots than arms. And I want to thank Otto for hosting us here at Clayco.
Is he
one
okay?
of the Midwest's biggest construction companies.
You okay, Joe?
$3 billion a year in revenue. Thousands of employees nationwide, and here in Elk Grove, 100% union, not labor, union.
You lying dog-faced pony soldier.
Cool.
One of the reasons I said I ran was to rebuild this country, rebuild the backbone of the country, and I meant this sincerely. And the backbone is to build from the bottom up and the middle out.
Exactly. That's why you
I'm a capitalist.
shut down
I
the
think people should be
capitalists.
able
That's
to
why you shut down the
make a lot of
pipeline,
money.
right? Right, Joe?
That's not the problem, but everybody should have an even shot. And who built the middle class? Unions built the middle class. Without the, not a joke, without the unions, we would not
Who's
have
joking?
a middle class in America.
Who is
everybody
laughing?
owes you all. You know, you're constructing buildings for some of America's biggest companies, but you're also doing something bigger than that.
I
You're helping
swear
us
I've heard
beat
this speech
back
before.
COVID-19. So are the great leaders who are here today. JP, you, Governor, you've done more than about anybody I can think of in any state. I mean that sincerely. You've
Not a
stepped
joke.
up, you've You've always done what you said you're going to do, and you've been relentless in getting people vaccinated. In the Midwest,
Not a joke.
You're leading.
Say not a
You're
joke.
leading. And it's real. It's not hyperbole. And Mayor Lightfoot, who I said,
Why
please
say-
go back
what?
to work, I'm going to get in trouble. She had to leave, but Mayor Lightfoot, the same thing. And Elk Grove, Mayor Johnson, you've done a hell of a job as well. You know, we have 11 members of Congress here. Raja, thank you for hosting this in your district, for permission to come into the district. And I also want to thank colleagues in the House of Representatives, Mike Quigley, Robin Kelly, Bobby Rush, Danny Davis, Jan Sikowski, an old friend, Bill Foster, Brad Schneider, Sean Caston, Lauren Underwood, and Marie Newman. And I know, look, for them, you'd all understand it in a different context. But this is a busman's holiday for them, to have to come here and other politicians speak. You know what I mean? Not a joke, folks. I appreciate it. I genuinely appreciate it. I appreciate it. And
Joe, are you okay?
I know they wanted to be here, but there's others who are in Washington who can't be here. Dick Durbin and Tammy, I've both spoken to. They're in Washington, and hopefully, be
Not a
voting
joke.
soon. And also, we've got state leadership here. Lieutenant
What else
Governor
isn't a joke?
Julius here, Stratton, and the Ohio, Pennsylvania. I'm from Pennsylvania. The Illinois president of the Don Harmon, State Senator Laura Murphy, State Rep Martin Moylan, and we got great labor leaders here too.
Oh,
Tim,
this is
where's
bad.
Tim? There you go, Tim. Thank you, pal. AFL-CIO State President, and Jeff Isaacson, United Brotherhood of Carpenters, and Don Finn, IBW, and Robert Reiter, R-E-I-T-E-R, Chicago Federation of Labor. And folks, that's how we beat COVID-19, by working together. We have an expression in that little town of Claymont I was from. You all brung me to the dance, labor. You're the reason I'm standing here. Not a joke. Not a joke. I got elected when I was 29 years old to the United States Senate, 17 days before I was eligible to be sworn in. I had to wait around to be sworn in. Not a joke as well. And
Okay, if he says not a
won
joke
by
one more time, I'm going to
3,300
scream.
votes. And labor including the police unions as well as the firefighters, stood up and endorsed me. And because I kid with the governor, I said I grew up in a town called Claymont, Delaware. From 3rd grade on, I went to a little Catholic school called Holy Rosary, and across the street from Holy Rosary was the fire station. And the guys I grew up with, you became either a firefighter, a cop, or a priest. I wasn't qualified for any of them, so I had to be president. And so, but look, it's been a month since I laid out a 6-part plan to accelerate the path out of this pandemic. 1, vaccinate the unvaccinated. 2, continue to keep the vaccinated protected. Keep children safe and
Come on, man.
The government's doing. Increase testing and masking. Protect the economic recovery and improve the care of the people with COVID-19. We've made real progress across the board. More than 185 million Americans are now fully vaccinated. More than 75% of eligible Americans have gotten at least 1 shot. We made great progress on equity as well, in closing the gaps in race as well as ethnic vaccination rates. Recent data shows Latino Americans, Black Americans, Native Americans
Are not taking the vaccine?
Asian Americans have now gotten vaccinated about the comparable rate as white Americans. That's not happening.
Wrong.
And our work on equity isn't done, but it's an important piece of progress. We're also starting to see less COVID-19 cases in a vast majority of communities around the country. Cases are down this past month by 40%. Hospitalizations are down by 25%. We're headed in the right direction if we keep our eye on the ball here. We still have a long way to go. The fact is, this has been a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
Oh my God.
Unvaccinated. The unvaccinated overcrowd our hospitals, overrunning emergency rooms and intensive care units. The unvaccinated patients are leaving no room for someone with a heart attack or in need of a cancer operation.
Not
and
true.
so much more because they can't get into the ICU, they can't get into the operating rooms.
This is happening
The
everywhere?
unvaccinated also put our economy at risk because people are reluctant to go out. Think about this. Even in places where there is no restriction on going to restaurants and gyms and movie theaters,
God, he's
people
so
are not
quiet.
going. and anywhere near the numbers because they're worried they're going to get sick.
Wrong.
I've tried everything in my power to get people vaccinated. First thing I did when I
What
was
up, woke
sworn
mom?
into office back in January 20th
This is bad.
is I bought
He is,
enough
like,
vaccine
exhausted
right off the bat
and-
to vaccinate every single American.
He's
There were only
just-
4
I
million
swear he's already
Americans
done this whole
vaccinated
speech
up to that
before.
point, even though the virus
Plan-
has been around. Second, we made everyone
were-
eligible to get a vaccination and made it easy and convenient.
He's
for them
said
to
that
find a
like
place
100
to get
times.
vaccinated. Over 880,000 places around the country. Third, we gave everyone ample time and information to deal with their concerns. We developed hundreds
What about
of
religious
millions-
exemption?
millions of dollars in incentives. You did here in the city and the state.
Should have watched the Derek O'Shea show.
Illinois.
Biden.
Cities and community organizations to encourage vaccinations. Governor Pritzker
It's been bad. It's been bad, woke mom. It's been
encouraging
bad.
people before we get to the mandate. But even after all these efforts, we still had more than a quarter of the people in the United States who were eligible for vaccinations, but didn't get
He
the
stopped
shot.
saying I'm not
We know
joking
there is no
after
other
I told
way
him
to
I
beat
would
the
scream if I
pandemic
heard it one more time.
than to get the vast majority of Americans vaccinated. It's as simple as that.
And we're there, so just
And
open
to,
it up.
to spread to our children, to spread
We
to
have
our
enough people
society,
vaccinated.
hospitals,
Open it up.
the risk of other variants, it's all
Stop talking
dangerous
about
and
it.
obvious, but we're still not there.
Now talk about the therapeutics.
We have
Go
to
on
beat
to the
this
next.
thing. So while I didn't race,
He
to
did
do
threaten
it
those
right
people,
away,
and he's still doing it now. He's doing it
that's
right
why
now.
I've had to move toward requirements that everyone get vaccinated,
See?
where I had the authority to do that.
Or
that wasn't my
else.
first instinct. My administration is now requiring federal workers to be vaccinated. We've
Except
also
for post
required
office.
federal contractors to be vaccinated. If you have a contract with the federal government working for the federal government, you have to be vaccinated.
Except for postal
We're
workers.
requiring active duty military to be vaccinated.
Except for
We're
postal
making
workers.
Sure healthcare workers are vaccinated because
Except for
if
postal
you
workers.
seek care at a healthcare facility, you should have the certainty that the people providing that care are protected from COVID and cannot spread it to you.
Oh my gosh.
The Labor
Vaccinated people can
Department
get
is gonna
COVID and spread
shortly
it.
Issue an emergency rule, which I
This isn't
asked
news.
for several weeks ago, and they're going through the process to require
I think the
all
boxes behind him are some
employees
kind of
with
union
more than
thing,
100
union
people,
prop.
whether they work for the federal government or not. This is within in the purview of the Labor Department to ensure their workers are fully vaccinated or face testing at least once a week. In total, this Labor Department vaccination requirement will cover 100 million Americans, about 2/3 of all the people who work in America. And here's the deal.
Tell me.
These requirements are already proving that they work. Starting in July, when I announced the first vaccination requirement for
He's
the
starting to
federal
slow
government,
down a little bit.
about
Came in pretty amped up.
95 million eligible Americans were unvaccinated, as was mentioned a little bit earlier. Today, we reduced that number to 67.
No, this is not a
eligible
fake set.
Americans
He's in
who are vaccinated.
Chicago right now
And today,
at some
we
union
released a
place.
new report
They're forcing
outlining
him to
the
watch him.
effective vaccination requirements that are already proving their worth. This report shows three things. First, vaccination requirements
Yeah.
result in more people getting vaccinated. In
They're all the
past few
PCR
weeks,
tests behind him.
as more and more organizations have implemented their own requirements,
Ivermectin
we've
storage.
seen their vaccination rates rise dramatically. For example, the Department of Defense has gone from 67% of active duty forces
Oh, he's
being
starting to phase.
vaccinated to 97% as of tomorrow. Vaccination just 6 weeks into this vaccination requirement. That's how quickly it's moved. We're also seeing this at colleges and universities across the country. More than 95% of students at colleges and universities like Northwestern, University of Illinois, Chicago are vaccinated. And we're going to see it in health systems around the country as well. Rush University Medical Center here in Chicago.
Bunch of
has
college
gone from
students. What's their
72% to
probability
more
of
than
hospitalization
95%
or
of its
death?
employees fully vaccinated
Joe.
under its requirements. These requirements work. And as the business roundtable
Squeezing
others
people
told me
and
when I
making
announced
them
the first
rely
requirement,
on
that
keeping their
encouraged
job
businesses to
works.
feel they could come in and demand the same
While
thing
you're
of their
there, oh
employees.
great, please help
More
the
people
mayor
are
with the
getting
big.
vaccinated. More lives are being
Teresa,
saved. Let's be
what's
clear.
up?
When you see
Yeah, Lori
headlines
Lightfoot just
and
talked. She's a
reports of
joke. I hate
mass
her
firings
with a
and
passion.
hundreds of people
I don't hate
losing their
most people, but
jobs,
Lori I do.
Look at the bigger story. I've spoken
Caffeine
with
injection
Scott
or
Kirby,
vitamin B,
CEO
woke
of United
mom.
Airlines, who's here today. United went from 59% of their employees to 99% of their employees in less than 2
Because
months
they
after
fired
implementing the
people.
requirement. 99%.
This is
By
not
the way,
a
Scott, I
good
want you
thing,
to know
Joe.
I've instructed the Justice Department to make sure that we deal with the violence on aircraft coming from those people who are taking issues. We're gonna
Oh
deal
my
with it.
God. We're going to deal with that.
In
What
the
about all
last
the
days of their
shootings in Chicago,
implementation,
Joe?
they cut the
You going to deal with
remaining
that?
number of employees left to get vaccinated in half. They went from 67,000 United employees to 66,800 complied. People chose to get vaccinated. That's why we've
Forced
seen more
to get
companies
vaccinated?
signing up. I recently met with the CEOs of Disney, Microsoft, who you're familiar with here, Walgreens, to hear about their requirements. The Business Roundtable represents 200 of the largest businesses in the world, and it has championed vaccination requirements to keep businesses open and workers safe. America's largest aerospace companies.
I love an old
Lockheed
man
Martin,
cough. That really.
Raytheon,
me
who I
laugh.
met with yesterday, the chairman of the
Oh,
board.
the meteor?
Northrop
I
Grumman.
don't think he will. He
They all
doesn't
just
even know.
announced plans to implement vaccination requirements. Even this, I always get a kick out of.
You're coughing?
News.
Oh, Fox News.
Requires vaccinations for all employees. Give me a break. Fox News. And over the past week, we've seen American, Southwest,
Cool.
Alaska, JetBlue Airlines all announce
Fox News
requirements.
is not extremely conservative.
Allegiance Chicago are
This just in,
stepping
Joe.
up. As I
We all
said,
need
the
to be
mayor,
discussing the
Mayor
many thousands killed by
Lightfoot, Governor
Fauci.
Pritzker are requiring vaccinations for state and city
Oh,
workers.
Woots left.
healthcare
Don't
workers
talk
and
about
teachers.
Fauci's HIV.
Chicagoland Chamber of Commerce.
Remember when
and
HIV
Jack
was
Lemmon,
airborne?
who is here, has called for all members of the chamber to require vaccinations for their employees going back to work in person. And I came here to Clayco to thank this company for doing the right thing. Today, Clayco is announcing it's going to require all employees to be fully vaccinated or test once a week. It matters.
He's been on a
I know
decline
these
with his
decisions aren't easy,
energy.
but you're setting an example and a powerful example.
Come on,
Second thing I'd
man.
like to say, today's report shows that vaccination requirements are good for the economy. Not only increase in vaccination rates.
No, they aren't,
but to
Joe.
help send people back to work.
By forcing
work.
people.
You know, when I first started the vaccination program,
You're a lying dog faced pony soldier.
vaccine enough for everyone. We're vaccinating 3 million people a day. We're getting very close before
Get
things
your
begin to
shots or get
slow
shot in
down.
Chicago. Yes,
The economy's
exactly.
growing, leaps and bounds. 6%, the fastest growing major economy.
You're going
in
to
the
lose your
world.
job if you don't get the vaccine.
In fact,
But if you shoot
increased
someone,
vaccination coverage
who cares?
results in as many as 5 million American workers going back to work because they feel safe they can go back to work.
Exactly, and
There'll be more economic
Angelica,
demand to drive
I
people
like that.
back to the workforce. But don't take it from me.
we're not taking it from you.
You know, liberal think tank this comes from. But here's what Wall Street's saying.
Oh,
Goldman
Wall
Sachs,
Street,
quote,
super conservative.
Vaccinations will have a positive impact on employment. It means less spread of
Come on.
COVID-19, which will help people return to work. Moody's on Wall Street. Vaccination means fewer infections, hospitalizations, and death.
What's vaccination
Return,
mean,
it means
Joe? Does it
a
mean you have to have the
stronger
booster
economy.
now?
One economist called vaccine requirements, and I quote, the single most powerful.
Yeah, the vaccine
I didn't
program,
say
he did
single,
start
the
it.
most powerful economic stimulus ever enacted, end of quote. Third point I'd like to make. The report shows that vaccination requirements have broad public support. Yes.
No,
some
they
object, and some
don't.
object very strenuously. And some are making a political statement out of this issue. But a strong bipartisan majority of Americans support vaccinations. They know it isn't about politics.
It doesn't
It's
matter about the
life and
majority.
death. That's what it's about. It's about looking out for one another. It's about being
Woke mom, they
patriotic.
call it Crook County
right
for a
thing.
reason, not Cook County.
Folks,
I used to live in Chicago.
vaccination
I know.
requirements work, and there's nothing new about them. They've been around for decades. We've been living with these requirements throughout our lives.
Right.
Students, healthcare professionals,
2%
our troops
hospitalization
are
rate.
required to receive vaccination from everything from polio to
2%,
measles to
2%,
mumps to rubella.
2% hospitalization rate.
And the reason most people in America don't worry about polio, measles,
There's a little
mumps,
Irish.
rubella, is because they've been vaccinated. I don't quite get this. You know, why it's
Come
a
on,
matter
man.
of no violation of your right to be able to go to school or get a job, to have, et cetera. But now, it's a great cause célèbre. So today, I'm calling on more employers to act. My message is require your employees to get vaccinated.
Or else.
Vaccinations, we're going to beat this pandemic finally. Without them, we face endless months of chaos in our hospitals, damage to our economy, and anxiety in our schools,
Oh my gosh.
and empty restaurants, and much less commerce.
Oh, that Build Back Better
Look,
got me.
I know that vaccination requirements are tough medicine. Unpopular with some. politics for others, but they're life-saving. They're game-changing for our country. We're in a position to leap forward in a way that we haven't for a long, long time economically. Businesses have more power than ever before to change the
Keep
arc of this
printing
pandemic.
money, Joe. Keep printing money. We're going to do
Save
just
lives
great.
And protect and grow our economy. So as president, I'm going to continue to do everything I can to get us out of this
Shut down
pandemic.
pipelines.
I look forward to more businesses joining that effort. And for folks who haven't gotten vaccinated, get it done.
Talk to me.
Do the right thing. It
No.
can save your life. It can save the lives of those around you. You know, if I can digress for just a second, last night I was
Please.
on television. I was on the telephone.
Use your
with,
words.
A
Use your words.
person at
Come
an
on,
emergency
man.
hospital ward
Use your
in
words.
Pennsylvania.
Come on,
A good
man.
friend had called, and he had rushed his significant other
I'm calling BS
to
on
the
this story.
emergency room because this woman was having trouble breathing
It sounds like he's
had a
faking
high
a book
fever.
report right now.
and could not really catch her breath. And they got her into the hospital, but the waiting room was so crowded, things were so backed up, they couldn't even get her to be seen initially.
Where is this place?
So because I knew this person, I called
Chicago?
the desk, the receiving nurse, and asked what
You
the
called the
situation was.
desk, Joe.
And has anyone even, and by the way, I wasn't complaining because they're getting the living hell kicked out of them, by the way. Doctors and nurses, some of them are just, they're running dry. I really mean it. They're getting the living hell kicked out of them, and
Yes.
sometimes physically.
Yes.
And
I have
make a
family
long
members that
story
work in
short,
ICU currently.
It took a while because all of the, not
He's-
all, the vast majority of the emergency rooms and the docs were occupied.
Well, God knows he
taking
doesn't sleep
care
in the
of
White
COVID
House. That's
patients.
Kamala's bed.
I bet every one of you can name somebody who got sent to the hospital with something other than COVID and couldn't get it taken care of.
Wrong. I don't know
How many
anyone.
people do you know? I know.
I don't know
Who've
anyone.
had to put off elective surgery they need done, but they couldn't get a hospital room. Didn't mean they were gonna
Exactly.
die
Hi
in many
hat, low
cases, but
hat.
some places in the world
100%.
that's happening.
Constant
You
run on
can't
gibberish.
even get to do the elective surgery that's necessary, particularly for a lot of cancer patients. So look,
I just talked to a
things are
cancer
changing,
patient and
we
she's
can
doing just
end
fine.
this. We can end this thing. It's easy, it's accessible, and it's free to get the vaccine.
Body. It's the one with the
Text your
earlobes
zip
connected.
code to 4388
720-727-7572.
Text your zip code there, or visit vaccines.gov to find a vaccination
Yeah.
location near you. I promise.
That just
there's
came
one
out
within
on
5
the
minutes of
press
where you
conferences
are,
today
15
about
minutes of where you
vaccine requirements for flights. You want
it's
to.
free.
They want to. They're
Let me
not taking
close with
anything
this.
up. Oh, close.
We have
Gotta
a
close
plan.
it.
We have the tools. We're using them. We're making progress. We just have to finish the job. Finish the job. So for God's sake, for your own sake, for the sake of your families, get vaccinated.
Get the
We can do
vaccine.
this. We can do this if we do it together. And we can literally change
I'm not
the
kidding.
circumstances, the health, the camaraderie, the employment, and the access to a growing economy if we step up and lead the world. And one last thing I'd like to mention, which is not directly, it's not part of what I was going to say today.
But go ahead and say it.
I've made a commitment that just like World War II, we were the arsenal of democracy, providing the means by which the Allies could fight and win the war. We're the arsenal of vaccines. I've not only purchased enough vaccine to make sure every single American can get a vaccine shot, get the full dose, and a booster.
Well, Mom, you're cracking me
But
up.
provided for already, we put out 1,800,000 doses of vaccines in other parts of the world, and we're going to end up doing over 1,200,000,000 doses.
1,200,000,000?
First quarter of next year. Because, you know, it's not just being decent and honorable what we can do, but it's in our own naked interest.
I do
If
hear
we
the
haven't
whispers
learned
approaching,
before,
Trish.
You can't build a wall high enough to keep out
Illegal
a
immigrants?
virus.
Oh,
can't do
virus. Okay.
You cannot do it. So we have an obligation in our own naked self-interest to help other countries. And by the way, I travel the world. I've met with all the major world leaders, and I'm going to continue to meet with them. And guess what? Other countries are making like they're really
Mask
doing a
is
great
down.
deal. We have provided more vaccines around the world than every
Here's the
other
whisper.
country in the world combined.
Oh, not good enough.
And guess
Yeah,
what?
Trish.
Unlike China and Russia and others, we're not asking a single thing.
Here we go. Oh, so hot.
Not a single thing in return.
ASMR.
Nothing.
I needed this today.
It's having a profound impact on how we're viewed. So those who haven't gotten vaccinated who may be listening to this broadcast, please get vaccinated. Please. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you so very much.
Under Joe Biden.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor?
He just bowed. He just took a bow. What are our thoughts? What are you guys' thoughts on that speech? He's not done. This administration is not done with vaccine requirements. Everyone thinks that they're just going to end. They're just going to end. Everything's going to be just fine. And we're going to go back to normal. And you think his booster was fake? I can't tell. I feel like we're living in the Truman Show with him constantly. But vaccine requirements, they're gonna keep pushing it. Why? Because the number isn't going up what he wants. The number is not enough. Coal miner's daughter. He talked about his Scranton times and his dad going through hard patches. He's a broken record. He's truly a broken record, and I don't understand how people can just listen to him and vote for him and like him. I don't who likes this president? I don't know anyone. Even my liberal friends who are just like, well, I'm just glad it's not Trump. Like, what is there to like about it? He's the most dislikable president. His approval ratings in the gutter. Have I heard of Novak? Like the Novak's the brand? Yeah, that company that isn't the company that like went down. I just know their stock price isn't the best. But as Lori Lightfoot talked to us at the beginning, and she's a complete joke, and I can't stand what she's done to that beautiful city. Woke Mom said, I come from a long line of coal miners too, but I didn't become an evil, lifelong politician that deals with Chinese communists. You mean Chinese communists that help pay for his family to get jobs? Could you imagine if Trump's family had anything like his family? The media would not shut up about it. A more traditional type vaccine, not yet. Is that, Trish, is that like Johnson & Johnson's kind of vaccine? See, my big gripe is that I always knew about the fetus tissue, and that's a big no-no for me. And I'm not saying you have to be that way, but that's how I am. So, COVID vaccine, no vax. No, I have not heard. That company has been struggling, so I'd be curious to see how well it does. I'm more interested in therapeutics. I just don't understand why we don't talk about therapeutics enough. Like Merck's therapeutic, I think you would think it'd be better than people like me that are just kind of young, and I work out. I work out 7 days a week. I do. And I don't eat any crap. I eat just whole foods. And so I don't know. I don't want to get COVID. I don't think it's a joke. I think it's serious. I know friends that went through it and it sucked that are my age, but they're fine. So the idea, the media is constantly pushed that you're like, the minute you get COVID, you're going to die. And that's not the case. It's going to suck and you might die, but it's just, it's not the end of the world. Is he reading? Yeah, he was reading from a teleprompter. And you could see it, especially at the beginning when he was like reading super fast. And he kept bumbling over words per usual. And, it's no wonder they capped him so much during his run to the election because he can't hold a sentence. Not my understanding. I hope no fetus. I'm screwed if there is no vaccine safe or fetus free. Yeah, same, Trish. I feel the same way. There's no fetus parts in the vaccine. It's they tested the vaccines on fetus tissues, like Moderna and what's the other one? Pfizer. They tested them on like some kind of kidney tissues from fetuses, and then I think Johnson & Johnson actually used some technology in the making of it. I'm not totally sure because I'm not a scientist. I just know. Watch my my last video I just put out. I just talked all about it for like 20 minutes. You should check it out if you don't know yet. This is embarrassing. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard feeling excited about a lot of things when you see the way the world is going and seeing who's in charge of what's going on. Unions don't even want the yeah, they don't. The postal workers came together and said we don't want the vax. So, and of course no one talks about that because it's a union and they're predominantly vote Democrat. So, and then the police unions are all pushing back against it. I know a ton of ICU nurses in my area that pushed back against it. So, and again, even if I was vaccinated and I went to the hospital, I wouldn't care if my nurse was vaccinated or not. I just want good drugs and good care and to be treated as an individual as opposed to just a number and a statistic. So, I don't know. That's all my thoughts are on this, guys. I appreciate you guys for joining in. It means a lot to me. Seriously, it really does mean a lot to me. I freaking love you guys. You guys are amazing people. If you ever want to text or call me, you can call 720-727-7572. It's not my personal cell phone number, so I'm not going to pick it up. But you can leave a message, leave your name. You can name your name, any name you want. If you want to support me, be a monthly supporter, you go to buymeacoffee.com/DiarcoShay Show. It's $3 a month. Be a supporter. I'm going to start doing exclusive content on there just for people that are supporters and also people things that aren't safe for YouTube, if you will. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you guys. Let everyone know about the revolution. But Derek O'Shea. I love you guys. I'll see you on the next episode of the Derek O'Shea Show.
Welcome to the Derek O'Shea Show, where we discuss culture, news, politics, and more. Sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy the show. Be sure to tell your friends and family about the revolution.